The thing is, you will agree with this, and then you will go, but I don't like the way it's being done.
Because he's not
well, then how do you do it?
Doing it. You do it like they did in the 90s. You don't do it like this. Elon Musk is getting more and more government contracts. He's not having to look under the hood of what he's doing. His companies aren't up for examination, but he's going around doing this. You know what costs?
Señores, Elon Musk sabe perfectamente que este departamento de eficiencia gubernamental, o para muchos conocido como DOGE, es un desastre total. Es ese el mismo motivo por el cual ahora está tratando de redefinir, de poder maquillarnos todo el caos y la corrupción que han ocurrido en las últimas semanas. Él es consciente de que sus decisiones son increíblemente impopulares, así que está intentando cambiar esta narrativa, pues para poder salvar su imagen y la de sus empresas. Pero ojo amigos, no es solo él quien está impulsando este discurso, ya que como buen copresidente tiene todo este respaldo de una red propagandística enorme como es Fox, la cual por cierto sufrió un colapso monumental y se mostró completamente alterada por lo que dijo el expresidente Obama sobre las acciones de Doge. Sean bienvenidos a Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Hoy veremos cómo Fox entra en crisis después de que Obama humilla y expone a Elon Musk. Así que los invito a que se queden hasta el final de este video porque veremos los detalles más interesantes. Bueno amigos, antes de que vayamos a hablar sobre cómo Fox intenta distorsionar este debate, quiero que escuchemos por un momento a Jared Moskowitz, quien hizo un comentario clave sobre este tema. Veamos este clip.
Did fraud and improper payments start with Joe Biden? In his administration, was that the first time the government has experienced that?
That is not the first time that fraud was reported.
First time?
No.
First time?
No.
So we got to depoliticize this stuff because all we're hearing is what happened in the last 4 years. In 2017, $140 billion of improper payments. That's inaccurate?
In 2024, we reported 162 billion.
No, hold on.
Payments.
In 2017, 140 billion in improper payments. In 2018, $150 billion of improper payments. In 2019, $174 billion of improper payments. And in 2020, $206 billion of improper payments. Those are GAO numbers. So let me just do some math. In the first Trump administration, there were $670 billion of improper payments. I'm not blaming him, but he is blaming Joe Biden, and so is Elon Musk, blaming for the improper payments for what happened in the 4 years of Joe Biden. My point is, Mr. Chairman, if we do want to solve this on a bipartisan basis, then we got to separate fact from fiction. We got to depoliticize it. $670 billion of improper payments and fraud, waste, and abuse in the first Trump administration. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Isn't that correct?
I don't have any reason to doubt your math, sir.
Okay. Isn't that correct?
I believe so.
Perfect.
Este departamento de eficiencia gubernamental está intentando vender la idea de que el despilfarro, de que el fraude y los abusos en el gobierno comenzaron con Joe Biden. O sea, como si el gobierno no hubiera existido antes, ¿no? La realidad es que siempre ha habido un derroche, especialmente en lo que es el Pentágono, algo que los demócratas creo que llevan décadas tratando de solucionar. Precisamente sobre esto hubo un intenso debate en Fox News, así que quiero que veamos qué fue lo que dijeron y por qué tuvieron este colapso mediático. Y créanme que tengo mucho que decir al respecto, así que veamos este clip.
Welcome back, super sleuths on the net discovering Barack Obama's most horrifying secret. No, not that one, Dana. One that could shatter the image forever of our hope and change Messiah. Roll it, Lars.
What should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. Did you know the federal government pays for a website devoted to a folk music ensemble made up of forest rangers? They're called the Fiddlin' Foresters. I'll put their music on my iPod, but I'm not paying for their website.
The American people are entitled to transparency. By that I mean they're entitled to be able to figure out where their dollars are going.
Barry O was touting the virtues of cutting government waste back in 2011. Now, where have we heard that one before. Jessica, this is quite interesting, don't you think?
Not really.
Fiddlin' Foresters.
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Waste, fraud, and abuse, huh?
Yeah, sure.
You guys invented it.
Well, no, but everybody.
Get to the point.
Is that the red light already? Yeah. Democrats don't like waste, fraud, and abuse either. Go back to what Bill Clinton did. Put Al Gore in charge of it.
That was a mistake. He put
no,
Biden.
It wasn't.
I'm
was great.
talking about Biden. He put
This
Biden
is Biden's
in charge.
fault. I love this part of the show. It's Biden's fault.
It's like putting a fox in charge of the
hen house.
Thank you.
Just go through Congress, work together to do that. You have Democrats that the first day they announced DOJ said, sign me up. I'm happy to do this. It is widely popular as an idea. In execution, though, it's a massive bomb.
That's what you said, just in the everything you agree with, except it's not doing well. You're not doing it the right way.
Well, do you think that going around and the hundreds of millions of dollars of cuts from like Johns Hopkins, Jesse isn't here to defend his sister's honor, but what they're doing there, I mean, all of our scientific innovation, medical innovation are coming from these institutes.
Like COVID. Like COVID.
That's
where
such
did
a
the
funny
virus
game.
come?
Okay.
Where did the virus
It came from a lab. Oh my God, it came from a lab.
Where did the money come from?
I can admit it. What gain of function? I'll say all the talking points that you want.
You're doing one right now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you're doing the.
They are.
Well, I found
Elon
this one
Musk
example. This one example that says it's bad.
$800 million from Johns Hopkins is more than one example. There's thousands of employees being fired.
What are the cuts? What are they cutting?
NIH
it's
grants that do our R&D.
It's redundant, and it has to do with technology.
The veterans that are getting fired, Social Security payments, that they're marking people as dead who are not dead. How do you feel about that?
Those are mistakes.
No big deal.
But the thing is, you will agree with this, and then you will go, but I don't like the way it's being done.
Because he's not
well, then how do you do it?
Doing it. You do it like they did in the 90s. You don't do it like this. Elon Musk is getting more and more government contracts. He's not having to look under the hood of what he's doing. His companies aren't up for examination, but he's going around doing this. You know, it costs 12 cents per day to keep someone who has HIV alive, right? And we're cutting those contracts.
We're killing people with HIV.
We are. Take a look at the New York Times article from the weekend.
I was busy. Brian?
So for number one, Elon Musk cuts every day because he's got his own private business. And if it's not solved, the shareholders are going to keep
government dollars.
No, they don't just primarily run off government dollars. Brian. But when you go into space and NASA doesn't want to pay for it anymore, and the private industry says, I can't do it, and one guy goes, I can do it, and I can do it cheaper, and I can also put up your, I can also save your astronauts, that's a hero. He has to lean out his companies every single day. He doesn't need government to do it. A couple other things I think is important. You can't have politicians cut the budget. It's impossible.
Amen.
They have too much stake in the game. They will not cut anything that will hurt them politically.
Brilliant.
You are helping them to come in there with accountants and do it apolitically because Republicans are going to get hurt too, and you can't do it. Go ahead. Turn the head. This is going to hurt, so I'm going to have somebody else do it. Also, don't blame Elon Musk anymore. It's Amy Gleason.
Para empezar, amigos, qué comentario más absurdo al final del clip. Culpar a Amy Gleason, esta especie de personaje, ¿no? Inventado para ser el chivo expiatorio de toda la corrupción de Elon Musk. Es simplemente ridículo. De esta forma, pues, Musk sigue libre como si nada, sin enfrentarse a consecuencias por sus acciones, aunque sabemos que debería. Pero aquí está el punto clave. Está tratando de usar clips de Obama, de Clinton, de Biden, hablando de reducir el despilfarro en el gobierno como si eso, pues, justificara las acciones de Elon Musk. Pero como lo dijo Jessica Tarloff, de una manera bastante interesante, no es lo mismo. Lo que Biden, lo que Obama, lo que Clinton querían hacer era eliminar gastos innecesarios, mejorar la eficiencia. Lo que Musk está haciendo no es eliminar desperdicios, es desmantelar el gobierno. Está destruyendo programas esenciales, como lo es el Seguro Social, como lo es el Medicare, el Medicaid. Está poniendo en riesgo seguridad nuclear, amigos. Es un nivel de locura total. Está manipulando la idea de recortar gastos para poder justificar una destrucción sistemática del Estado. No se trata de mejorar el uso de los impuestos, sino de desmantelar todo para dejar el gobierno en ruinas. Exactamente es lo que Rachel Maddow señaló en este segmento. Veamos este clip.
Look at what the Washington Post was publishing just down the road. Quote, Social Security facing pressure from DOJ weighs big cuts to phone service. Agency considers ending phone program that is used by millions of elderly and disabled Americans. One gobsmacked Social Security Administration employee told the Post today that this radical change, this radical cut to services that they were moving on in the Trump administration, quote, would be the single largest service disruption in agency history ever. The single largest service disruption in Social Security ever. Elon Musk's plan for Social Security was to, quote, end telephone service for claims processing, instead directing elderly and disabled people to the internet and to in-person field offices. Quote, the agency's toll-free number is a mainstay for older customers who do not have online access or who have trouble navigating the internet. About 40% of the claims that get made to Social Security are made over the phone, using this phone line that Elon Musk now wants to kill. 40% of the claims at the agency. And naturally, this move to close the phone line and instead force old people and disabled people to go in person to in-person field offices, naturally that comes as Donald Trump is firing 7,000 people who work at Social Security and closing tons of the aforementioned field offices. President Biden's Social Security Administrator, former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, ripped the bark off himself in his comments to the Post on this planned cut. Quote, it would certainly appear, he said, that they're trying to break the capacity of the agency to serve its customers. And I suppose if they're trying to dismember the agency, liquidate its assets, sell pieces of it to their billionaire friends to run, they have to discredit the agency in the eyes of its customers, and they do that by breaking its ability to serve. The Post says, quote, the DOJ-driven proposal to shift all claims processing online and to in-person offices has spurred pushback internally, employees said, and from outside experts, for the same reasons, that it would be likely to imperil millions of Americans' ability to receive their earned benefits. This is what they're doing. This is what's going on. And so this is what happens today. Congressman John Larson, who I just showed you, screams his freaking head off in Congress about it this morning. Screams at them. And then at noon, the Washington Post publishes this horror movie script about their plan, indeed, to rip the guts out of Social Security. Beyond firing everybody, which they're already doing, right? Beyond closing the field offices, they're now making it so that old and disabled people literally cannot call anyone to find out what's going on. But then you know what happened? They caved. They decided not to do it. Don't let anybody tell you that pushback doesn't work. Don't let anybody tell you that yelling and making a fuss.
Estos tipos no están tratando de eliminar lo que no funciona. Están saboteando las instituciones a propósito para que éstas dejen de funcionar. El objetivo es muy claro: generar desconfianza en el gobierno, para luego salir a vendernos lo que queda al mejor postor. Financiar más recortes de impuestos para los multimillonarios. O sea, siempre, al final, se trata de lo mismo. Por eso, amigos, es clave que sigamos combatiendo estas mentiras con hechos, porque ellos intentarán disfrazar siempre su agenda política de mil maneras, pero la realidad es que no están arreglando nada, solo lo están destruyendo todo. Muchísimas gracias por quedarse hasta el final de este video. Como siempre, si me quieren apoyar, regálame un like, compártelo con tus amigos y suscríbete a nuestro canal. Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.